Hello everyone and welcome back to Linguistics with Sam. Now today we are looking at the different type of glottal states. Now last lesson we learned what the glottis is, and the glottis is that space between the vocal folds or chords, whatever you like to call them, and we've learned that when the glottis is a different size, it modifies the type of air going through, producing different sounds. Now let's look at the four glottal states. So we've got voicelessness, voicing, whisper, and murmur. Now we're going to look at each of these a bit more in depth, not crazily, because there really, yet again, isn't much to say right now, because we don't really know any phonetic symbols, sounds. We're just kind of talking about the articulatory phonetics part. So, voicelessness. As the vocal folds are pulled apart, as you can see in that diagram of the voiceless sounds, the vocal folds are pulled apart, and you can see that little gap, which is the glottis. Air passes directly through the glottis. Now, any sound made with this position is said to be voiceless. They say that because just in case they're wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're right, so let's just believe them. Now, if you place your finger on your larynx as you produce a voiceless sound, you will not feel vibration. So, like, let's say if you make a fricative sound like f, or I don't know any fricative sounds other than f, the F sound. If you make f, there is no vibrations whatsoever, which is nice. Or t. There's no vibrations. Sorry, I had to feel my larynx whilst I was doing that. Whereas if you look at the voiced sound, if you place your fingers on your larynx, you will feel a vibration. So if you make an O sound, O, O, you feel vibrations. Now a voice sound is when the vocal folds are brought close together, as you can see by the diagram. Not fully closed, like they're not closed, but just tightly, not just like nicely, like a nice little gap just in between. This causes them to vibrate against each other, producing voice sounds. Now this is the vocal folds vibrating against each other. Now, if you place your finger on your larynx, you produce a voice sounds. We just did that. Magic, I know. Right. A whisper is a voiceless sound. However, as seen by the diagram, the vocal folds are adjusted so the anterior, which is that top part of the diagram, portion are pulled close together as seen through that, while the posterior, which is the bottom part or the back part of the diagram, and this is where they are apart. So you've got that tiny little glotty gap right there, which allows the air to pass through, and we can all whisper. It's magic. We can whisper. Wow. But yeah, then murmur. Murmurs are voiced sounds, but the vocal folds are relaxed to allow enough air to escape to produce a simultaneous whispery effect. Now that's just worded so smartly for me, even though I wrote that. I wrote it thinking I know what that means, and then as I'm talking about it, I don't really know what it means. But that's basically what a murmur is. It's a voice sounds. I mean, when I hear murmur, I think of like, but it doesn't actually you don't produce any logical thing. Oh, unless you try. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Now, these four glottal states with articulation made above the larynx produce a wide range of phones. So we've looked at the four glottal states, which is voiceless, voiced, whisper, and murmur. Now, once they go with the articulations in the oral cavity and the nasal cavity, it produces a wide range of phones, which is just the sound. Now, there are three types of phones, but we'll look at that next time. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.